it becomes confusing for a lot of people who aren't seeing how the system becomes more and more refined as we move forward, because they've seen small victories, right? They see me, I'm a black man. I hop on the internet and I'm talking, and, I got a professional job, and, I'm middle class and all that stuff. But at the same time, all that stuff can take away from me like this, with one accusation, no proof. One of my white exes can say, that boy raped me in 4, and my life could be done just like that. Boom, the Bill Cosby treatment. But they don't understand the refinement that takes place in that, right? They don't understand that this system is more refined than it used to be. So when they see that blatant thing, that blatant racism that takes place, it's like, oh my God, this is still happening, because we've been soothed through the refinement. We've been given enough to make us feel good. When Barack Obama got elected as president, the campaign was on hope. And we ate it up.
Yeah, we did.
Definitely voted for Barack Obama. Don't get it twisted. But the reason why we were out there and we voted at record numbers is because we never thought that could happen. So it was more symbolism than substance.
Right.
And that's where we get caught, is in symbolism. And then when substantial things come up and we need to deal with it, we're not ready, because we've always been given symbols. So that's why they say these things, because when you talk about a cop shooting an unarmed black male or an unarmed black woman and getting off, that's substance. We have to have lawyers who can help deal with those things, not the usual suspect lawyers that always get called around the country and never get results. I can talk about those people, Benjamin Crump, but that's a whole other thing. We have a lot of folks like that, but we have to be able to set our community up for protection. All right. We don't understand how to protect our community because we've always been taken care of by other people. And we've always been given things by other people instead of getting it for ourselves and treating ourselves. But we have so much anti-blackness within the anything more for ourselves, and we don't trust ourselves because we've been taught and conditioned to not trust each other. So that's why you will get conversations or comments from elders. It's like, I can't believe this is happening, because the refinement has given us look at symbols, and we just say that's good enough because we got a little piece of the pie and our substance, and we're not able to concretely defend and protect our community and move our community forward. So that was a long answer to your question, but I hope
I think that was great. And I know we're going to wrap up, so one, we're going to wrap up. The other part is I try not to put a time on the podcast episodes, but I have to say this because of the point that you raised. So this podcast will air sometime in September. I'm sorry, this episode of the same podcast. This episode will air sometime in September. But right now, what we're dealing with is this whole thing that Biden said, that comment that he made about, basically, if you're not sure who you're voting for at this point, then you're not Black. And it's so interesting because I see so many Black folks come out and say, well, that's true. That is true. And then also say, well, I really don't want to vote for him, but it's better than nothing. And I'm looking and I'm saying, but Trump has said very similar. I mean, the Trump and Biden are not far from each other, in my opinion. And so it's just interesting to hear the back and forth in our community as we discuss this Biden figure, as far as what he has stood for his whole political career, and the policies that he has supported and who he has decided to be in his circle of influence. And I think it just speaks to your point when you said, like, we're okay with just
crumbs,
with the crumbs. And I think that's like, there is no demand. It's like, well, here's Biden. Well, all right, we don't want him. We don't want to vote for him. So we don't want to vote for him. We know what his crime bill. We talk about the whole situation with Anita Hill, many statements that he's made, but it's like, but hey, what are we going to do? We might as well just vote for him so we don't have Trump. At least Trump, you know what you're getting. Like, Trump is not hiding who he is. Like, this is, like, and I'm not saying vote for him at all. I'm saying you know what you're getting. But as you said, we've been so conditioned to just accept kind of what's presented to us is like, you know, well, this is best for you. This is the best
Mm-hmm.
option, instead of like
Chitlins.
thinking about this and analyzing this person and saying, wait a second,
Yeah.
why is this person the best option? And who's telling me that it's the best option when, you know, people that look like me, they seem to not have benefited from this guy being in office at all.
Yeah. We accept chitlins when it comes to politics. It's the worst part of the pig, but we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna soak it. We're gonna cook it good. We're gonna put some hot sauce on it. We're gonna enjoy it. And we're gonna make it a delicacy.
Right.
Right? And that's what happens to us when you're not organized. You just take what you're given, even if it is the guts of the pig. And the political pig, we've been getting the guts for so long that we don't even realize it. And we should be insulted that he comes on the platform and even opens his mouth to say something. And if you listen to that interview, he was super arrogant through the whole thing, the way he was talking to Charlemagne. Yeah. Charlemagne should have checked him, but he didn't. But that's a whole nother thing. But again, as a black person who thinks you should be insulted by listening to that 8 minutes of trash that you were given, chitlins, political chitlins, that you were given, you should be insulted because as a black person, your intellect, your genius demands more respect than what he was given, and nobody should vote for him. I don't care what party he's. Yeah. Just from the fact that you were disrespected. But we accept that. And we argue amongst ourselves to say, well, it's better than nothing. Yeah, you can starve politically, or you can say, all right, we're gonna our voice be quote unquote heard, even if we don't get the result that we want. So we can, at some point, we have to stop accepting the crumbs or the chitlins, as I'm saying here. Like
yeah.
But again, this is how we've been cultivated. Is we only think one direction. Which candidate is going to give us the most value from a communal standpoint? That's who we should be voting for. I don't care what party they're part of. Who's going to the best? Right. That's the person that we could attach our wagon to. But we have and this is something we can talk about another podcast episode, is that we have what I call emotional extremism, where we are extreme comes to emotions. We're either all in or we're all out. So when it comes to Democratic parties and politics on that level, it doesn't matter who says something to us. We're all in because that's Democrats and it's anti-Trump, right? So we're all out on that. So we'll just take all the disrespect. I got hot sauce in my bag. That was a whole other thing that someone said. I don't know if Biden was trying to.
I think you're trying to.
Hillary Clinton on that one.
Yeah.
But again, you're getting disrespected, and you don't know. You don't even know that you're getting disrespected. But if me, black man, I come in your house and I say, look at y'all up in here. Y'all need to get y'all shit together. I didn't even talk about what you got to get together. I just say that. You're going to be like this and get him up out of here. You're going to treat me like all types of stuff because I've insulted you. But you don't even realize that he insulted your vote, your intelligence, and your existence. And we have to look at that the same way that if a black person say, you need to get your stuff together.
Right.
Because that's what he pretty much said. If you black and you vote for me, you ain't black. Who is he to determine who is black or not? And why is he talking so disrespectfully on his platform? And why are we even listening to him?
Right.
Respect yourself, black people, because if you don't, nobody else will. And unfortunately, we have developed a culture around being disrespected and accepting being disrespected. So we have to do better.
Yes. And I think, and I know we're going to wrap, I think this is my third time saying we're going to wrap up, but we really going to wrap up now. I think that's so important, is doing what we said on previous episodes, is doing that self-work.
Absolutely.
Once you start to value yourself, once we as individuals start doing our own healing work, then when we meet and come together as a community, we'll get stuff done. But if we're not doing the work individually, we're going to just keep going in circles. 20 years from now, we're going to have the same conversation. So it's so important to do that individual work, so that way when we come together, we can move the ball forward as a collective.
For my first master's degree, I was in a community psychology program, and my master's thesis was on Black male leadership. And I was trying to think how can, as a black man, how can I make the community better? And I had this vision that if every black man in a household started to improve themselves, the family would automatically start to improve as well. And if one family is starting to improve, the community's improving.